About last night, 90 Day Fiance episode 16. Jovi and Yara and his mom go looking for wedding bands. I think that him wanting to be cheap would make me want to get the most expensive ring in the store because he's not going to do anything other than drink it or spend his money on strippers. I like the fact that his mom doesn't completely take sides. She does, try to tell him how, or basically situations to operate from a woman's perspective and not just take her son's side and he can do no wrong. So I do like that about her. I don't even think that they're so much as scared of Yara just using Jovi for a green card versus Jovi being able to treat her right and do good by her in the marriage, as far as him not going out all the time, and I guess just the things that he does that we don't see. Brandon and Julia's wedding, I think that they could have invited a couple more people if they chose to, people who were, you know, close to them. Well, not close to them, close to him. But obviously, maybe there wasn't many other people who are close to them. I don't understand why we have been calling this girl Julia this whole time when her name is Yulia. Not like that's anything hard to pronounce. I don't understand it. Was that like for TV, or is that just a thing? That caught me off guard, really. Brandon's vows, when he was writing it, it just looked like he was writing a bunch of letters on a paper. There was not one space between the word. There was space between letters from what I seen anyway. I was wondering how he was going to be able to read it if he knew how to pronounce all of those words, but he did a pretty good job. And she did a good job, of course. I mean, I have no doubt that she would. Um, Betty, when Julia's mom wanted to say I love you in English, and then Betty comes and gets in the camera and says I love you too, I would have mushed her. Get out the camera, lady. You don't have to be a part of everything. I know a woman like that. That's why I felt so strongly about it. I would have mushed her too. Um, Rebecca and Zied, when she said she bought a white corset, I thought she meant to go under to see if the dress would close. I never thought she would put it over top. There is, no matter what's going on in the world, there's always going to be some woman sewing something or some man sewing something at home or in their wherever their private area. She could have found a seamstress, or she could have done it herself, just sewn the back of the dress to the corset and closed it that way. She could have, I mean, there was still space in the corset, like a little bit open in the back, so she could have done it that way. It would have looked so much better, and she could have just said, if you're going to take pictures, make sure you take them from the front. There wasn't enough people there for her to really worry about her back being out. I don't know why nobody thought of that, unless she herself thought that that was pretty. I hated it because you covered up everything, and then you could still see, like, you couldn't see the design, but you seen the imprint of the sequence on, or crystal on, the dress. That was a very, very bad idea. I actually thought her friend was going to help her fix the dress, but I guess that was just the excuse to get away from Ziad so she could go complain. But I still think there would have been time to complain and work on your dress. Just my thoughts. But it was nice. I'm glad that they got married. I didn't think that they wouldn't. I think that all the stress that she put on herself was a bit much. I mean, and like, it was a pandemic, like the beginning of a pandemic. I don't know why she thought an extra 30 days meant anything, because pandemic time, 30 days was 3 minutes. I mean, that's how it felt for me anyway. Hazel and Tariq's wedding was really nice. I think I'm not even going to say just for a pandemic wedding, because some people's wedding are that small, and I think it was really nice. They both looked really nice. I'm glad he did not wear that blue suit. I'm glad that they included his daughter in the wedding a little bit, but I'm sure that that was kind of hard for her because her son wasn't there, but it was really, really nice. Her parents, were able to watch the wedding. I did not think that her mom would not be a part of that, wouldn't be there, because again, I don't believe that they didn't know that their daughter was bisexual. Michael and Natalie, if I never see them again, I'm okay. I'm like, I could watch Natalie. I can't watch Mike and the stoic, you know, just no expression at all. And I understand that, some people are show their feelings, or, deal with things differently. I'm not, I don't think that he needed to be crying the whole time, but he's repeated what he needed to say 10 times every episode. I mean, well, it felt like that anyway. We knew what he was going to say. There was nothing different than last week's episode. And it's just agitating. I hope they don't bring them back for the next season, um, because I don't want to see him. And I wonder if he's still, like, a fan favorite, because I cannot stand the nothingness. I mean, they could have edited something together much better than what we got. They wasted so much time on them too. I would have rather watched Hazel and Tariq find a girlfriend. They could have drawn that out a lot more. They could have actually showed us how Hazel found out that Tariq messaged another woman. Not that I enjoy people's pain, but if you're going to put it out on TV, you might as well put it out. I mean, the good part. I could, you know, Minty, they could have done a little bit more on her. Um, but Mike and Natalie, no, and I can take Hazel's stoic face, because she says more than, we just need to work on things. We get a lot more words out of her than Mike. So I could deal with her. Mike, I can't stand. I could have watched Brandon's freaky parents. I actually thought that Betty could have possibly walked in on that little, bath scene, because she would have used the excuse that the light was off and she didn't know that they were in there unless they weren't home. That's the only safe way that I would have been able to go get in a tub with my boyfriend, knowing his mother probably listens with to the wall with a glass held up to her ear. Like, I wouldn't have even stayed in that house if she let us sleep together in the same bed, because if I get the feeling like she just lusts after Julia, I'm sure she gets that feeling too. Or just maybe not lust, but just a little creepiness about the whole situation. But anyway, I'm sure the season will be coming to an end very soon, which I'm cool with, because it really wasn't much to watch. But I will be back next week. Peace.